Hold on 1 second, Sabrina. It stopped because of the music. To be honest, I didn't know that they could actually hear it. Hold on 1 second. Let me just pin it. Right. Sorry. Right. I'm letting you on, Sabrina.
Hello? Oh, I can't hear. Oh, I can hear. Oh, God, my speaker's working now.
Try it. Try it.
Wait. Shall I try the music now?
You've pinned it now, so let's try it.
It might, okay, that was the reason why it cut off. Okay, let me try now. Oh, now the speaker's not working as soon as I put the music on. Can you hear the music? Not very well.
Leave it.
It's really weird. It works from my phone, but it's not connecting to my laptop. Right, okay. Let us get into matters. Right.
Hey, girl. These days, this Instagram is very temperamental, isn't it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, it was just switching from my speaker from the phone. I don't know, my phone was picking up the speaker. I don't know. Technical issues. Sorry, go on.
I hear you better now anyway. I was saying that these days Instagram's been a bit temperamental, isn't it? So
yeah.
That's fine. So no music, but it's all good. We'll carry on. The show must go on as we say. So how are you, girl? What's been happening?
Okay. I'm okay. I don't know if you noticed, like my window, well, the blinds are up. There's a whole load of sunshine now on my face. I don't know if you can notice.
I can. Really glowing.
Yeah. I don't know about glowing, but I'm looking a bit shiny. But yeah, my week has been good. It's just been really busy at work because it's payroll at the moment. So, sorting out things, inputting. So it's been very, very busy. I think last time I mentioned that I was doing a commercial for Macmillan's charity. So it's a cancer charity for those of you outside the UK, which was lots of fun, made lots of interesting sort of like links and whatnot. It was a really nice group of people. I have to find out exactly when it's being shown. I don't know as of yet, but it was really sort of like educational, quite hard-hitting commercial. So I'll keep you guys posted as into when that's going to be shown and where. And what else? Yeah, just spending time with family and friends. I'm tired of going to dinners, birthdays, catching up with friends who I haven't spoken to.
You've been going to dinners, not trying to go to dinners.
You know what I feel like looking into, but I have to get paid for it, like blogging, food blogging. So I'm just looking into that. I don't know. But yeah, I just love eating out and just doing different activities and stuff. So when was it? Easter, I went to the zoo thing with my godsons and their mum, which was really good. So yeah. But yeah, the last sort of 3 or 4 weekends have been very, very busy. So, but yeah, what about yourself, Sabrina?
Yeah, I've been seeing some of the lovely food, girl. And that's actually a really good idea. You're a good food blogger.
Yeah, that's what people's like. Why do you blog your food?
Yes, no, all good here as well. So I've not. I came back from Abu Dhabi just over a week ago, so that was lovely. I mean, there's some things that happened, but I won't leave that here. But in terms of the girls, it was me, my best friends, Sonia, whose 40th birthday it was, and Khadijah. We just had a nice little girly trip. It was like girls in the city. The weather was lovely. We had some great experience. Like whoever is hearing this, one of the best excursions I've ever been on was the safari experience, the safari desert experience. Oh my God, it was amazing. Like, so you drive up to the desert, you get into a Jeep, they do like a little drifting Jeep thing on the on a sand dunes. Like that was unexpected because I didn't know what to expect. So that was lovely, and then just as the sun's going down, you get to see the sunset. Oh my God, I got some wicked photos and some.
Yeah, we want to see them. Put some of them up.
So that was amazing, but and it was short. It was like 4 days, but it was okay. That was like part 2 of my friend's 40th birthday, and then they had a party last weekend, which was lovely. other than that, it's just, you know, in between, there's still work and there's still just sorting out whatever needs to be sorted out. So it's been hectic. It's been absolutely hectic. But yeah, Abu Dhabi was lovely. Will I go there again? I would. Definitely different hotel. It was the hotel that was a bit of an issue.
Oh,
but,
right.
You know,
Wasn't that
great.
Wasn't that great in terms of food or room? Or?
No, it's just the way we were treated, but that's a whole different story.
Oh.
But we didn't let that dampen us. We had a good time.
Yeah.
But Dubai is next on my list at some point. Not this year because we've got all sorts of other holidays going on this year. But yeah, I would like to try that. But it was nice though. Do you know what I mean? The weather. Oh my God.
You love the sun.
It was. I mean, even that at one point, I was like, yeah, I think this might be, I might have reached my peak in terms, I thought I can handle any, I was still outside sunbathing, but yeah, it was hot.
Do you know what the temperature was whilst you were there?
Like at one point, I think the highest at that time, it went off to like 43, 43 degrees. So generally it was like 40s though.
Wow.
But I was still out there like this in the sun trying to rotate like a little chicken. And people were like, oh my God, like, you do know it's that hot. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, I take care of my skin, you know, I put the patch on, then I put my oils and stuff. But anyway, that was good, and that's what's been happening for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, guys, let us know how you have been, because I hope you guys all had a good Easter and the bank holiday. Looking forward to another bank holiday.
I know. Oh my goodness, so many.
Hope life is treating you well. But yeah, that's about it. But we're alive, we're kicking, we're healthy, and you know, grateful for being here. Yeah,
yes, definitely. So, topic of the week. It's with great sadness, and we send condolences to the relatives or the family of these victims. So last week, Monday, 4 members of a family were sadly stabbed to death in a southeast London home in the area of Bermondsey. So Denton Burke, 58, and his partner, Dolette Hill, were both killed at their home in Bermondsey in the early hours of Monday morning. His daughter, Tanisha, and, well, she's also known as Raquel, who she lives in Kennington, but obviously she was in Bermondsey at the time, and her daughter were also killed. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, this one really hit me like a lot. It's like 3 generations just literally wiped out. So the daughter, apparently it was her boyfriend. Obviously he's, I don't know if many of you know, he's been arrested now. And I'm not sure at what point he'll be up in court, but it's just like literally 3 generations of a family wiped out just like that. Obviously, people have been mentioning mental health, which we've spoken about in previous episodes, but our condolences go out to the family who have sadly lost 4 members of a family just like that. What are your thoughts, Sabrina, on this?
Sad, isn't it? I mean, it'll be interesting to find out a bit more of the background, but just condolences to family and friends. It's unimaginable going through that. That's just crazy. But obviously, we need to find out more about what. So they're saying it was. Anyway, we'll.
They're saying it's the boyfriend. Everything's still in process in regards to him. You know, evidence. So it's still, obviously this only happened last week, Monday. So as time goes on, we'll learn more as to why. But I don't know, there's no reason I can imagine which would, you know, warrant taking 4 lives just like that. But yeah, I'm sure more information will be revealed as, you know, the weeks go on. But yeah.
Just sad story, and we just, our condolences go out to the loved ones, friends and family, all those that were affected by this as well. Yes. It's mad, it's crazy. But yeah, so thank you for that information.
So guys, welcome to another episode of the Davina and
Sabrina show. Woo, woo. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I know we missed 1 week at some point, but we're back. This week is a DNS business hour where we have an amazing international author, podcast host, domestic abuse advocate who will come on and share her story. Please get involved, ask questions. We'll be discussing about the journey. So as we mentioned before, we will occasionally do these business hour where not only do we get to plug, businesses and so forth, but also giving some advice, or the guests giving advice about how they got where they're at, So get involved, even if it's not live, we will post some information about our guests so that you can follow and get more information. This is about elevating. So ask questions. Very excited. Yay.
So guys, sorry, bit of a dry mouth there. So some statistics. This is from the United States. So in the United States, there are over 7,046 authors currently employed in the United States. 50.5% of all authors are women. This is quite interesting. While 49.5% are men. The average age of an employed author is 41 years old. So it's never too late, guys. The most common ethnicity of authors is white, which accounts for 79.4%, followed by Hispanic or Latino, which is 7.2%, and Black or African American, 5.8%. Interesting. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, there's a big disparity in terms of, authors out there of, where they come from. But I like the fact that, like you say, it's never too late. I mean, the creative world is not the easiest, which is why I was so excited to have, one of our guests come on and talk about her journey and so forth as well. So, writing a book there's a process. So, there's a lot of people that, have been around. It's like, oh, I've got this idea, I want to write a book, and don't necessarily take it to that step. So we're very interesting to actually hear from an actual published author about their journey and how it happens, because it's, like any creative, it's not necessarily easy, but it's possible. It's absolutely possible. I mean, I heard like a J.K. Rowling's when she, went with Harry Potter, when she wanted her book published, she was rejected, I believe, 12 times before finally it got picked up. So I think the message here is, you've got an idea, let it be born and continue with it. And believe in the work that you do, because one of the reasons it was rejected were because they thought it was too long, it was too old-fashioned, it was weird. But, she obviously had a target of who she wanted to, she was targeting a particular,
audience.
Audience. So your stories, whatever it may be, wants to be heard. So if you are an aspiring writer, author, start the process. Find out more.
And the same can be said for like scripts, like the writer of Squid Games, numerous rejections he got. And look at Squid Games now. Absolutely loved it. I know you watched it. Hopefully there'll be another season very soon. But yeah, he just never gave up. Yeah.
I think that's the overall message. So yeah, we're excited.
Right. Fantastic. Right, let's bring on our guest, guys. Just hold on. Hello, welcome.
Hello there. Hello there. Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
How are you this evening?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
Fantastic.
Very well.
So for our viewers, if you'd say your name, where you're calling from, and what you do.
Okay, my name is Pamela R Haynes. I'm on Instagram as Loving the Author. And so that's a recent change in my Instagram. And I am here in Forest Gate, East London, in the United Kingdom. I am a retired senior probation officer, writer, and now podcaster. I've been a podcaster for about 13 months. So that's me in a nutshell.
Fantastic. So let's take it right to the beginning. So can you tell our viewers why become an author? What inspired you? What was the inspiration behind you beginning to write books?
Okay, well, I'm a very good reader, so I've been reading from a child. We grew up in Canning Town in East London, and we attended Canning Town Library quite frequently, especially during the holidays. So I've always been a lover of reading books. In fact, I'm in awe of authors, and especially around fiction, and how talented authors can be to use their imagination in that way. So it's been something that's been on my bucket list for absolute decades to do, that one day I will be an author as well. But didn't quite work out that way. Didn't really think that I was bright enough. I went to a school in Canning Town that they had very low expectations of their pupils. You either got pregnant at 15 or you went to work in Ford's in Dagenham. So, as I said, they didn't have, or you turned to crime. So they didn't really have that many expectations of me. But I got on very well at school, and one of my very first jobs was in Sainsbury's in Stratford while I was still doing my A-levels. It's still there now. But this was before the days when you had the, electronic tills and all that. Things were put in manually.
Oh, wow.
There were no barcodes or anything like that. I stayed working there while I was doing my A-levels from 17 to 19. And I really thought that when I left school, I would end up on a YTS scheme, a government YTS scheme that Margaret Thatcher, who was the Prime Minister there, was very much pushing. But we saw a little card in the window that said they were forming a new government organisation and they were looking for workers across all grades. So I applied and I got a job with Her Majesty's Crown Prosecution Service. So that was my first big toe as an administrator into the work, into full-time work. And I was fascinated by the criminal justice system, how people and the work that happens there. The police used to prosecute their own cases, but this organisation came in to manage that process. And I ended up working at most of the magistrates' courts in East London. And I even did a spell at Snaresbrook Crown Court. So, when you see the barristers in all of their get-up, their wigs and gowns and all of that, that wasn't me. I was the person sitting behind them, taking copious notes on the cases. I felt that I was part of the problem, though, not part of the solution. We saw many of our young people coming in and out of the criminal justice system. So I literally walked across Romford Road and joined the probation service. I felt that I could do a better job there in terms of helping to rehabilitate some of our young people. And that's why I decided to join the probation service. And I was there from 1992 in a variety of different roles. They even helped pay for my degree at Kingston University. And I retired in 2018. Wow. Just before I retired, I had a revisit of my bucket list. I was approaching fast approaching a milestone birthday, and I wanted to leave my mark on the world in some way. I wanted to let people know that I was here. So nothing happens by chance. I went to an award ceremony. I was somebody else's plus one, and on my table, everybody was picking up awards. One particular woman was picking up an award for her work, a book called Geraldine's Pearl. And I do what I do all the time. I said, one day I'm going to write a book. And she said, I'm moving into publishing, so keep in touch. And a very long story short, my book was published on the 8th of January, 2018. It's here.
Wow.
It's called Loving the Brothers. and loosely based on my work working in the criminal justice system as a senior probation officer. So one of the characters is a senior probation officer. She's got lots. She lives locally in Gants Hill, but that's not me. A lot of people say, "Oh, did you meet your husband on the train?" No, I didn't meet my husband on the train. It is fiction. It's easier to write fiction than to write people's real life stories. So you've got Patty, who's 45 years old, a senior probation officer, no partner in sight, doing it on her own. You've got Charmaine, a young mother of twins, who again is in a marriage but feels as though she's doing it all by herself. And then we've got Rose, who is a pastor's wife with 5 children, and she's chief cook and bottle washer to everybody. So they meet the Morgan brothers. Things aren't quite what they seem. And the women unite and try and do something about it. So that's it.
I was going to say, without giving too much. Without giving too much.
I was just about to ask. Yeah, no, Sabrina, you go first. I was going to say,
without giving too much away. Love it. Absolutely brilliant. So, without giving too much, is the essence. So, because of your background in work, it has transpired into, you've got all these different characters, you've got the women, at different, around the group of brothers, and we're basically going to transcend into a journey of these brothers' lives. Am I right? Without giving too much.
Yeah, I mean, if you can look closer, you'll see that there are 3 brothers on the front. Manly's in the middle, he's the pastor. We've got Marcus, who everybody loves, and we've got Junior, who everybody doesn't really like that much. But they are brothers; they're very close. And the women that come into their lives, as I said, things aren't quite what they seem, and it's based a lot around the cycle of abuse. So one is experiencing financial abuse, one is experiencing emotional abuse, and I suppose the main character, Patty, galvanizes these women into taking some action around those things. The Morgan brothers, their father passes away, and they all then have to travel to Jamaica. And we get an experience of what it's like going to Jamaica for the first time, what it's like for someone who's well traveled and been there several times. Poor Charmaine, for example, is eaten alive by mosquitoes while she's there. What it's like to walk on the beach and the people that she meets. A lot of people have said to me that they would love to go to Jamaica now as a result of reading the book. I really do hope that I have done Jamaica justice in terms of describing the food. I've heard you earlier talking about how hot everything is, those kind of experiences when you're doing it for the first time. So they're not the only women in the story. I've got some fiery Barbadian characters from women who are in the book as well. Patty herself is adopted. From what she's been able to find out, she's of African heritage, and it's more or less all the characters are going on a particular journey. So it's not necessarily about domestic abuse, because there are some light-hearted moments in the book. I suppose the aim is to raise awareness, but there are moments where people laugh out loud and they're crying at the same time. I've had men and women, reach out to me as a result of writing the book. They start off by talking about the characters, who they liked and who they didn't like, and then they end up sharing their own stories. So what started out, my why was all about me. I wanted to get this book by the time I hit a milestone birthday. But now it's ended up in raising awareness around domestic abuse. So it's been quite a journey over the last 4 years. I left everybody on a cliffhanger. So I'm excited to announce that the part 2, Loving the Sisters, as you can see the canvas behind me, they're the 3 women. Loving the Sisters will be coming out in July 2022. So I'm very, very excited.
Congratulations. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
feeling a
you.
bit of a play vibe there, maybe like changing it into a script, maybe at a later date, possibly. I don't.
I'm open to everything. I'm open
Yeah.
to everything. I'm open to.
Mhm.
I quite like Greenleaf when that was on
Yeah.
TV. I quite like
Amazing.
how Stella got her groove back because
Oh
of that
yes.
Jamaica feel to it. And I don't know if you were watching This Is Us.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
Where there
Oh
are,
my gosh.
flashbacks, there are flash
Yeah.
forwards and everything else. I would
Mhm.
say that the Loving series is a mashup of all of your
All of that.
favourite films. So I'm open to everything. I'm open to,
Okay.
traveling to Hollywood. I'm
Yeah.
open to being in touch with Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm open
Our,
to a West End play. I'm open to everything,
our
all of it.
producer
I'm
lives
here for
there,
it.
so Candace, she lives there, so you never know.
You never know.
Yeah, you
She
never
put
know.
me in touch with you, and I'm very grateful for
Yeah.
Candice for doing that.
Yes. So, can you tell us, for those people wanting to perhaps go down this path in terms of writing a book, what's the process? Um, how do you get started in regards to writing a book?
Yeah, I mean, it was just an idea. And I
Mhm.
have to say that Loving the Brothers was a working title, something that I had at the back of my mind for about 20 years.
Mhm.
And way, way too long. I should have been further, I should have had the courage and the bravery to do it. But I always felt that authors were other people, not me. Yeah, it's what they do, not what we do. And I was surrounded by very few black authors at the time as well. So Terry McMillan, I'm a huge fan. I think I've read everything that she's ever written. The late Andrea Levy,
Mhm.
who wrote Every Light in the House is Burning, Small Islands, and those type of books. I was a lover of those as a young adult as well, but really felt that it was something that I wasn't worthy to do. So I'm ever so grateful for the route that I actually went down in terms of getting help from a publishing service, put it that way. So I'm Loving the Brothers was self-published, but I had help from a publisher who helped me manage the process. I did approach a traditional publishing house, quite a few, but they wanted me to change too much of the book. So they didn't like the cover. They didn't like the idea that three black men were on the cover of my book.
What?
They said it wasn't marketable. They didn't like the title of the book. They felt that it was speaking to a demographic. But what that really meant was they hadn't read the manuscripts, because
Yeah.
otherwise they would have realized that they are real brothers. They're a group of brothers. And they didn't like the fact that my three main protagonists are black women. And they did ask if I could change one of them and make them, I don't know, black, Asian, dual heritage. I don't know what it is, but they felt that if I wanted the story to translate to a bigger market, that I would need to change it. And unfortunately for them, they were my three non-negotiables. I refused to change the title. I refused to change the name. And I am proud of the fact that my three main protagonists are black women. They have their natural hairstyles. They talk like me and you. It's a very British book. It's not Americanized in any way. So it's set in London. So I talk about local places where these women frequent, like we've got a Westfield Wednesday. So the first Wednesday after payday, the women meet up, and they meet up at Westfield Shopping Centre, because that's what you do. You know, they have a meal, they shop, and they have cocktails at the Sky Bar. So when you're reading it, you get a feel of, right, the number 69 bus takes one of our characters into Stratford. You know, I talk about, one of them is from Gants Hill, so I talk about the local area. I talk about Plaistow. I talk about all the local wine bars that we used to go to back in the day when they were open, the soak effects that used to be at the Rex, and also, so it's got a very, very London feel to it, and that was important to me. I didn't want it to be Americanized in that way. I wanted our stories to be told from our perspective. So flash forward to the murder of George Floyd. All of a sudden, these publishing houses were saying, we want black stories. We want, you know, where are all of these authors? We've been here all the time. We've been here all the time, but the doors were closed to us. And now all of a sudden they want these colorful, detailed book covers. And, I'm so glad that I stood by my principles about wanting to tell the stories from our perspective.
Do you know what? That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
That's really touched me, because you said a powerful word, because one of your question, Davina, was what's the process? And it looks like throughout that process, you have to have some non-negotiables. You've got to be open to hear, but you truly believe in your story and what you wanted to perceive. And okay, they're lost. They didn't want to hear it. They wanted to make it, as you say, appealable to, but you have stuck to it. And that is a very hard thing to do, because you can understand how some authors, which is no wrong or right, to be fair, but you can understand how some authors will go home and think, right, maybe I really want to be a publisher. Maybe that's the quickest way to do it. So you've really had to jump the hoop and believe in your strength and your creativity. And look at that. You have become self-published. That's just a fantastic story and very inspirational for me. Going to hear this, because I know that's what people are going through. Should they waver? You didn't waver, and look at that. Yeah, that's well done.
Yeah. I mean, and the amazing thing is, either it's a good story or it isn't. And the story's being read all over the world. I have I have readers in Australia, New Zealand, the Far East, Africa, North America, and the Caribbean, all over. So it didn't matter, the cover didn't put them off. In fact, they were intrigued by the detail and the abstracts of the men's faces in particular. So I've stuck with the same illustrator for, Loving the Sisters. This is Loving the Brothers is an oil painting, and Loving the Sisters is watercolor. And now I have new publishers. I'm now going to be traditionally published, so that's a big change. Loving the Brothers was taken down last week. I'm now signed up for a trilogy with a new publisher, traditionally published. They are in South Carolina. So between writing Loving the Sisters during the pandemic in 2020, it took me 2 years to find a fit with a publisher who was willing to take me on. But it happened. It happened in January 2022. And it feels like a roller coaster now. I cannot believe that in 58 days' time, I will be holding my new baby, my Loving the Sisters in my hands. So I do want to urge anybody listening to this who wants to write and publish their own book, just keep on going. Just get the story done, regardless of what's happening around you. Just get your story done, and the rest of the pieces will fall into place.
I was going to say, what do you mean by it's been taken down? Because you've got a traditional publisher now. So your book is still available, that Loving the Brothers. Oh, it's not available at all anymore.
No, but not for very long. Okay. So what happened was, they originally offered me a 2-book deal to write Loving the Sisters and to write Loving the Children. So I'm writing Loving the Children at the moment. So I sent her a copy of Loving the Brothers, and she said, they said they want that book too. So can I take the necessary steps to pull down the old version? So this will now become a limited edition. And, can I then have the opportunity to rewrite things if I want to? So I did that. It took me 4 weeks to rewrite Loving the Brothers, and that manuscript went off to my publishers last week. So both books, Loving the Brothers 2nd edition and Loving the Sisters, will be published in July 2022. So I couldn't be more excited. I mean, I know that there are a few old copies out there. So New Beacon Books in North London. They have some copies of Love in the Brothers. Book and Culture, they have a pop-up shop in Wembley at the moment. They have a few copies of Love in the Brothers. So I know that there are a few retailers out there that still have the old one, but I can guarantee you the second book is even better than the first, because I'm growing as a writer as well. So how I wrote, 4 years ago is definitely different to how I'm writing now. And a lot of people have said they've got the original, but they're going to go out and buy both books because they want to be fully up to date on what's happened with the characters. What's really nice is that people are invested in the characters now. Up till today, I was talking to someone who said they really have to know what happens to Charmaine. And my husband is a big Charmaine fan as well, so even he wants to know what happens with her as well. So everyone's rooting for the characters, which is really nice.
Wow, it's exciting and well done. Oh my god,
thank you very much.
So in terms of just giving a bit of because it seems like there's different processes. You've been blessed, like you said, nothing happens for everything happens for a reason, so from my understanding, when you went to this award show, you met a publisher there, and that's where you start to get ideas, because I understand that the person was giving you some ideas, so that's how you became self-published. So where can individuals who do have these ideas, so they write the book, what's the next step for them to do? Where do you even find publishers, or where, if you decide you're going to be self-published, what are the steps to do that? I mean, without, I appreciate there's time constraints here, but can you simplify it just to give some inspiration to some of our viewers that will watch the show once we repost it?
Yeah, I mean, there are several self-publishing services out there. And who are Black owned as well, because that's important. That's very, very important to me. I would say once you've done your manuscript, invest in editing. So, just don't get a friend to do it, because a friend's polite. They may not want to be as brutal as they need to be, because, when mine came back from the editor, I'm thinking, am I even a writer? But you see all the scrawls and things that they're asking you to maybe reconsider and everything else. You start getting caught up in grammar and punctuation and all of those things. What I liked about my publisher is that she said, just write it. Don't free your minds. Don't think about, errors, spelling mistakes, all those. You just write the story, and a good editor would handle all of that for you. So for Loving the Sisters, I have a friend who is an editor in New Zealand. We went to school together, and she edited my book. Then I got that back, and then I went on to Fiverr. There are other apps you can go on, and I actually got an editor who was from Jamaica. So she handled all of the diction for me, all of the patois that I use in the book, all of that stuff. She focused on that bit for me. And now it's gone to a formal editor in my publishing house who is going to look at the detail, who's going to do a line by line by line edit. So I would say to aspiring writers, that's the first thing that you should focus on. And if you're paying out for something, it would be around making sure that your edit is perfect. So that's what I would say. There are a few publishing houses out there. So if your viewers wanted to contact me, I can then recommend at least 3 or 4 publishers that they can go to. Always take advantage of the 3 consultations that they do. They normally don't charge, so they will be able to give you some direction about where to go with your book. Who I would recommend is a lady called Denise Roberts, and she has a business called The Editor's Chair. And she literally holds your hand throughout the whole process, every step of the way. And she independently publishes you. So at the end of the day, she will help you. She will do all the technical stuff, because I'm not very good at that, uploading it onto KDP and working with Amazon and doing all of that kind of stuff can be quite tricky. She will hold your hand all the way up to and then publish you, and then you're flying, and then you're on your own. And she will train you how to order copies of your books and so on. I'm on Clubhouse with her every Tuesday. She has a group called Think and Write, I think it's called. Think, Read and Write. You can find us on Clubhouse every Tuesday at about 8 o'clock. And we discuss all aspects of publishing, from ideas right the way through to, well, how do you market your book? Because it's all well and good getting your book published, but what happens next, you know? So for Loving the Sisters, I started this week. I had a TV interview with London Live yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I was on the radio last night as well. So TV in the morning, radio in the evening, which is why I was saying to you, it's perfect timing to be on the Davina Sabrina show, because, you know, I get to talk about the book with the two of you as well. Basically, everybody who I contacted 4 years ago when I first started this journey have said, yes, we want you to come back on our shows. So between now and August, I'm going to be extremely busy, just marketing and pushing the book. I need to let everybody know that the book is here and it's ready. Because I've had about 3,000 people who are just waiting for Loving the Sisters to come out. And, you know, I get tired going places now because everywhere I go, they say, are you that author?
Now.
Where is Loving the Sisters? Where is Loving the Sisters? So I'm delighted to know that it's going to be out. I can get people off my back now.
Yeah. So when that comes out, if you can tell us the exact date, we'll make an announcement. If you do tell us.
Oh, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, Sabrina. You have to say.
No, I said we're excited. It's an exciting time. You're going to be very busy, but I just imagine, you know, when you said as you're retiring, you was like, I need to revisit my bucket list. And did you even imagine it was going to get to this point? And even then, there's so much more, Pamela, that's going to happen from. I'm excited for you, but that's just.
No, but I think I've learned to now dream big dreams for myself. So the original why was just get the book done. You know, it was a good way of marketing. It was a good way of marking my birthday. And it's morphed into something far bigger than I imagined. So now I've started to imagine great things, you know, for myself. I've imagined walking on a red carpet somewhere and being dressed by a designer. I've imagined my family being with me on that journey, on that carpet as well. I'm imagining being led to a writer's chair, you know, or a director's chair. I've imagined traveling with the book. My husband and I went to Ireland a few years back to take part in, I was a guest speaker at an event, and we went on Ryanair. And we said, you know what, the next time we travel, we're going on a private jet. Yeah. So we're dreaming together about things being much bigger, than we are. So we are dreaming together about where this book can carry us. And it's not just book related things that I get asked to do. I was a judge on the Miss Barbados UK beauty pageant.
Oh, wow.
And I loved every minute of it. You know, you get called to do some amazing things. I've written forewords for other authors. So they've asked me to review their books and, write reviews. I have been to HMP Pentonville last year to talk to the young people there about their writing journeys. I was a guest lecturer at the University of East London not that long ago, talking to students about my experience of working in the criminal justice system. They asked me to talk about Sarah Everard and her tragic murder, but in the end I ended up talking about Cherry Gross and Cynthia Jarrett and Sarah Reid and Black women who have also experienced violence and at the hands of the police as well. And sometimes you have to do these things afraid. I didn't know how I was going to be received when I turned up there. I almost cancelled. When I heard that Chief Superintendent so-and-so and this one was going, they were also speaking. I thought, well, who am I? I'm only the girl from Canning Town. You know, what am I doing taking up space? But they enjoyed it. They enjoyed what I had to say or appreciated what I had to say, that I've been invited back. So, we need to now, it's 2022, be confident that these people contacted me. I never contacted them. So they obviously think that I have something important to say. So go in and enlarge my territory. That's my mantra for 2022. I'm going to walk like I own the place. I'm going to walk in there like I own the place.
Yeah.
And do what I have to do.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like I need to have more of that attitude in things I do in regards to my acting and whatnot. So we touched on it a little bit before, your podcast. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your podcast, which I've listened to?
Yeah,
it's amazing, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. Over the past 4 years, I have been fortunate to be on the receiving end of loads of good publicity for my book. I have been on Good Morning Barbados in the Caribbean twice, talking about my story. And, my relatives were in Barbados are so proud. They were like, yes, Pam, I see you on RTV and you look good, girl, and, all that kind of stuff. I have been in the local press, national press, and international press, talking about my book journey. Still trying to chase that BBC interview. So just thought I'd put that out there. BBC Women's Hour, something like that. I've been enjoying the journey. I've been enjoying the experiences that have come my way as a result of writing the book. It has opened up many doors for me. So, but I have had a few knockbacks, so people who have said to me, I've got your details, we'll come back to you. And I never heard a thing from them again. So on the 8th of March 2021, I was making myself a cup of tea and I thought, well, why don't I start my own podcast? And I invite people to come on my platform, especially self-published authors. So on the 8th of January, which was International Women's Day, I decided to start the Author to Author podcast. So we've been going for about 13 months now, 14 months. I've just finished season 2. So I am interviewing self-published authors from around the world. I'm surrounded by books as we speak. And what I love about my husband is that he always supports me. So for my birthday, he bought me a microphone, which is here. Wow. I've got this Ring device. I'm learning all kinds of new things. I've got all a heap of fandangly things on my desk that he has bought or put in place for me to be able to do what I'm doing. Season 3 starts at the end of May. So I'm looking forward to that. Within a week, so that was the Wednesday, and I thought, right, what about sponsorship? Because, I can't do the technical things that's involved. I can't produce the show. So I contacted Mark Dalgetty on Facebook, and I'm not sure if you know of Mark Dalgetty, but he is the owner of Dalgetty Herbal Teas, which is a strong Caribbean brand. I contacted him and told him what I wanted to do. Never met him before. This is just Facebook stuff. He gave me the email address of somebody to contact in his company, which I did. Within the hour, they got back to me, and I'm doing this afraid, like, hello, my name is, really basic stuff. And they said, okay, can we have a Zoom call on the Friday? And I thought, right, I've got to pitch this idea to them now. And I did it. I thought that I messed it up because they asked me, do you enjoy our teas? And I said, not all of them. Whatever you do to Cersei, you can't stop Cersei from tasting so bad. And they laughed. They just burst out laughing. By the end of that session, they told me that they were willing to sponsor the podcast. So they sent me a compliment of every single tea they've ever made. I've drunk them all except for the Cersei tea.
It's good for you though. I've actually recently bought one. Actually, it is the greatest, but it's good
to try this out. I've tried them.
That's it. I say it's good for you, and it's interesting. The teas that are really good for you are the ones that you find difficult to manage, but you know that they're going to do you. You know they're going to do you good. I spoke to Del Getty Teas last Friday, and they have agreed to continue sponsoring the podcast for season 3, 4, and 5. They do all the production. They produce these amazing flyers for my episode, and as I said, they take up the production costs and pay for a producer, and they are, supporting me in getting these podcast episodes into different spaces. So I'm really grateful to have their support. The Author to Author podcast is now on 11 platforms, including Audible and Amazon Music, which I'm really pleased about. We're also on 3 radio stations. And talking to a 4th at the moment, and it's getting global, traction around the world again, and it's really I really enjoy it. I just finished interviewing a fantastic author. Her name is Bharti Dar, who wrote a book called Worth. And I've just finished interviewing her, and I'm buzzing after doing them. It really does take me a long time to calm down, because the adrenaline is really, is really going. So, I'm very grateful with how the podcast is going so far.
Well done.
Wonderful one. Again, we'll post details on our page so people can catch many of those episodes. Sorry, Sabrina, you go.
No, I was just saying, well, to get the sponsorship from Dalgety is just brilliant. But it looks like it's all popping off for you, and we are absolutely grateful to have you on our platform, and looking forward to hearing more and seeing more. Love and the Sisters is coming out, so we'll definitely be posting a few of your like URLs and where people can reach out to you. Share the love, guys, because this is an amazing story. You're very inspirational. Really, I mean that.
Thank you very much.
Honestly, it's really done something to me today. So thank you very much for coming on our platform. Can I just ask, what would you say is like, what have you learnt the most during this creative journey?
I think I've learned that I can tell good stories. And even if you're 50 plus, even if you're carrying a disability, even when other people have maybe written you off, not to write off yourself. And I talked to another 50 plus artist today. I've got some African canvases around my office. And we cannot believe that we are women in our 50s who still have hopes, dreams, and ambitions. She is having a pop-up shop in Walthamstow to show off her gallery and her artwork. I'm here in my 50s writing books, not just this trilogy, but I've entered 2 of my short stories into a competition. Which I'm really, really pleased about. Just having the courage to be able to do these things. And you don't have to wait until you're confident, until you have all your ducks in a row, until you're feeling a particular way. I do these things afraid, but I do them. So I do them, but I do them scared. So, you get that, just do it. You can do it. Even if you're not feeling it, do it anyway. So for someone who had to finish work in 2018, and for someone who I suppose should be at the other end of their career now and I'm preparing for retirement, I'm more busy than I've ever known, really, with the things that have landed in my lap, and I'm running with them. I've been invited to do an audio of the very first chapter of the Loving the Brothers 2.0 with the Caribbean Literature Festival, and that's just landed in my lap to do. And I'm really pleased to do it. So I'm even more busier now than I was when I was working full time. So my advice to you, just do it anyway. Even if you're doubting your confidence, just do it. Even if you think that you're dyslexic and you've got poor writing skills, just do it anyway, because that's what good editors for. And and reach those dreams. Have a look over that bucket list that you have. Time is short. We're not here forever. So revisit that bucket list and get those things done. There's no reason why you couldn't. If I can do it, Anybody can do it.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
And that will definitely be received, I'm sure, by a lot of people, because people are struggling through being creative, and just do it through the fear, as Pamela says.
Do it anyway. That's what
So you're on a new chapter now. We're excited. We'll definitely keep in touch. Is there? I know we've kept you for a little while now. So, is there anything else, Davina, you want to?
No, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, you've so inspired me. Like, coming off here now, I'm just gonna. There's certain things which I've sort of said, oh, I don't want to do because, you know, you're scared or you don't feel you're good enough. So yeah, just thanks for being on today and, you know, being so inspirational. And I feel like everything which is happening in your life right now, it's like new beginnings. It's an awakening, if that makes sense for you. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Honestly,
Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's been our pleasure, and we'll certainly plug you. And by all means, let's just keep in touch and just see your journey. But we're exciting times. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Well deserved, Pamela. Your true inspiration.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so
care.
much.
Thank you so much. Much love.
The same to you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't know this. So on the right, Pamela, there's an X. There should be on your screen to X out.
Here?
Yeah, I don't know. It should be. We had it with this issue with the last guest. Oh, it's gone now. Okay.
I'm telling you, people need to come back and watch this show. True inspiration. We'll be putting the tags up. And for anyone out there that's thinking of writing, or has got a writer and they've just left it aside because they don't believe in yourself, listen to this Pamela's story. It will inspire you. What are you waiting for? Do it. You just never know. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful. So grateful.
Yeah. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I need to say that to myself. And another quote: opportunities don't happen, you create them. Like, obviously she's come into contact with certain people who helped her on her journey, but she went for it, and yeah, so inspirational. So again, just like
the one that actually went to the award show, you know, so had you not gone. But the thing is, what's for you will never pass you by as long as you just put yourself out there. And
exactly. Yeah.
I want to get the book. I can't believe it. So we have to wait.
Like, we need to find out, you know, those places she mentioned. I want to read it. Like,
we've got to post.
We'll find a copy.
We've got to find that shop to go and get the last few. Give them a call and tell them, save us, depending on how many copies they have. But not to worry. There is still another. There's still it's going to transform into another way, isn't it? So
exactly. Exactly. So the next show, guys, is on Wednesday, the 18th of May. That's Wednesday, the 18th of May. Please tune in for another amazing episode. And would you like to add anything else, Sabrina?
No, thank you very much for just supporting us. Just share. Once we share it out, share the show, and just have a great, fantastic couple of weeks. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks, 18th of May.
Fantastic. Bye-bye. See you next time.